The text we are studying today is about the aftermath of Israel's foolishness of idolatry and apostasy. We see Moses picking up the pieces of a nation who broke their side of the contract with God. We see Moses dealing with God. We see Moses dealing with his brother. We see Moses dealing with the people. You can read all about that in Exodus 32, verses 9 to 29. If read superficially, we might think that God is an impulsive, reactive being who gets angry and just wants to kill anyone who disobeys him. But let's take a closer look to try to understand God better. You see, resentment against sin is so inherent to who God is and his holy character that there is no other option for him than to detest it. In the same way that if an apple falls off a tree, it can only go down. God only hates sin. He still loves the sinner, but if the sinner chooses not to separate himself from the sin, then they end up becoming one and the same thing. That is why we hear God saying, "Now leave me alone, so that my anger may burn against them and that I might destroy them." God had to get rid of the sin in his chosen nation, because if left unchecked, sinfulness would just get bigger and more out of control. And then how could God protect his people or act on their behalf if they wanted nothing to do with him? Verse 14 says that after Moses talked to God about his people, God repented, or some versions say God changed his mind. Does that mean that God was feeling calm now and the fit of rage had passed, so now he could think clearly and decided, let's not destroy Israel? Not at all. The words, "the Lord repented," are a feeble attempt to express the divine will in human language. Strictly speaking, God cannot change his purpose, for he knows the end from the beginning. However, when sinners forsake their sin and turn to him, when his children supplicate him for mercy and forgiveness, then he does repent. He changes from wrath to mercy, from judgment to gracious pardon. God cannot be indifferent to sin, and he cannot be indifferent to sinners forsaking their sin and turning to him. In this chapter, we also see Moses burning with anger. It's when he comes down the mountain and is faced with the people's idolatrous feasting. And I used to think that he also went into a fit of rage, and that's why he impulsively broke the tablets of stone. But in this context, we need to understand anger as righteous indignation at sin. What was he supposed to do? Just walk back into the camp indifferent to what was going on? No, of course not. In order to illustrate the breaking of the covenant between the people and God, because of their idolatry, Moses threw the tablets to the ground, breaking them to pieces, symbolizing the rupture. My challenge to you is to be like the Levites, who were found to be righteous because they didn't participate in all the apostasy. And let us never, ever be found indifferent before sin. Thank you for studying with me. I'll see you tomorrow.